Hello everyone, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, the game that I have officially paid for, so I could continue this playthrough because I'm having a lot of fun. Without further ado, let's get right into it on episode 2. You open your eyes. The sun has risen, the birds are singing, you are still alive, and for now, you are safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window and the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there, right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, tangling into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember Duke, slumped against the tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. You're not sure if you'll ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress. You creep toward the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. For a second, you thought you saw movement. It could have been an animal. It could have been something else. Whatever it is, it's gone now. Maybe you'll head out there and investigate after you've finished waking up. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Great, the doll didn't move during the night. Maybe it isn't haunted after all. Though after everything you went through yesterday, that's hardly a consolation. You turn back to the rest of the room. It's probably a good idea to check in with your new friend. You can't imagine she's holding up very well. This would be... I don't like that. Hi is not enough. There you go. Oh, this is so adorable. It might take her a minute to get back to you. In the meantime, you open the drawers to check on the little possum you met yesterday. Oh good, he's still there. That's nice. I'm not gonna try to pet the mans. Decide to leave the little mans in peace. Time to start your day. You're back in the kitchen. Frou-Frou eyes you from her favorite spot on the counter. Excuse me, ma'am, but may I pet your beautiful fur? Part of you hopes that flattery might win her over, as silly as that may seem. You are, after all, talking to a cat. Frou-Frou merely flicks her tail faster. It doesn't look promising. Hey! Oh god, I am in trouble. Did you know the police called me this morning? You've only been here one day and you've already had a run-in with the cops. This would be funny. No, I'm not saying that. This could be used against me in court because I feel like Tabitha would absolutely testify against me if they asked her to. Even if she wasn't there to witness anything. Honestly, I'm gonna go with mystical even though this is creepy and I don't think she'll take it well. The cops don't matter. Something is coming for this town, and I need people to start listening to me. Duke and Stella didn't take my intuition seriously last night, and look where that's landed us. I need you to believe me. You don't need to spin me tall tales to wiggle your way out of this. Just be careful and remember your actions have consequences for the people around you. You get a feeling in your gut that, even if for a brief moment, Tabitha believed your warning. Okay, that's good at least. I don't have the energy to spend this week cleaning up after your messes, so just don't go make any extra work for me, okay? Did the cops say anything about Duke? Did they find the body? Body? They didn't say anything about a body, but apparently he never went home last night. And they had quite a few questions about you, Megs. And before you ask, don't worry. I told them that you're an upstanding citizen. You know I didn't do anything, right? Does it matter? Some old farmer disappeared after going hunting in the middle of the woods last night. So what? Something like that was bound to happen eventually, and frankly, you're lucky it didn't happen to you. Just don't put anything else on my plate this week, alright? What is up with you and Stella? We just have history, that's all. I don't need to explain myself to you. I'm sorry. Good. I've got to get to work. But listen, you'd better stay out of trouble today. I want you home by sunset. I don't want to hear complaints, just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. She's giving me a curfew? I am a grown-ass person. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her footsteps fade into the hall, ending at the characteristic creak, then slam of the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you are the only human in the estate. A text from Stella. It's another tired cat. Hell yeah. Hope you're holding up okay, or as good as you can with all the stuff we saw last night. I was up most of the night on cryptid forums. No real answers yet. I'm at the library now if you want to join. I have scones. Considering my options are scones or another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Cool, on my way. And that's that. Time to start your day. This seems dangerous. I'm gonna do it anyway. As your eyes wander to the garden door, you shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw from your upstairs window. It was probably just a raccoon, but the uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you and compels you to investigate, if only to prove it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. You wander further into the garden, trying to pinpoint the spot where that thing had been lurking, if indeed there had been a thing to begin with. The garden is peaceful, but undeniably eerie. Here, more than anywhere else, you're surrounded by the ghost of what this place used to be. A greenhouse sits in the midst of the overwhelming greenery. Unreachable from years of neglect, its glass clouded and cracked. Statues reach out from within the seas of weeds as if begging to be rescued. And most strikingly, behind a pair of rusted metal gates at the very peak of the mountain sits Graveyard. You can just make out a few headstones, the Scarlet name carved deep and proud into their faces. You notice what a good view someone would have of your window if they stood there where you're standing right now. Oh no. You crouch down, pushing aside the greenery to examine the soft earth. A boot print. A big boot print. And what looks like some kind of viscera. Your thoughts turn to the spectator from the night before. You snap a quick photo, just in case it comes in handy later. You keep it to yourself for now. No need to cause any worry just yet. But I have it just in case. You head back inside. Time to figure out what to do with the rest of your day. I'm gonna head to town because Stella has scones and I'm gonna eat some of her scones. The walk back to town is much less pleasant today than it was yesterday when you didn't know what the woods were full of monsters and strange men who know your name. You stare anxiously into the darkness between the trees, searching for any signs of movement, but the woods are still, at least for now. The autumn-tinged mountains sprawling for miles in every direction now feel less beautiful scenery and more like walls of a cage. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Look what I found at the library. Said she was up all night thinking about the video, adding it to a group text. I'm only here because it's quieter than the store, or was, lol, and I'm trying to figure out what that animal could be. I don't buy this harbinger of doom stuff. We know what animals they are. They're ditchlings, and they are harbingers of doom. Sounds like they're having fun. I thought I told you about. I never said that. LOL, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'll be there soon. Almost back to town. You make your way to town in one piece. No creatures jumped out at you. No scary men blocked your path. The sight of other people is comforting, helping you forget the things you witnessed, as if they happened to someone else. Oh, hey Megs! We were just talking about you. Stopped by Sybil's to pick up her new tea blend, and, well, you're the biggest thing to come to this town since the coal mine. Folks have been absolutely buzzing about you. You went out with Stella last night, right? Did something happen out there? She barely even waved when she walked by. I feel like I should go with one of the street smarts. It's really not my place to tell him that Duke had a hunting accident. I know I kind of told Tabitha, but Tabitha technically is my cousin, and I thought the cops would have brought it up to her. I didn't realize they said nothing. So, just got some really good footage is all. Now that is juicy. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Sybil's new blend and try to calm your nerves. Oh god, it's gonna make me pronounce words I've never seen before. It's chaga and lemon balm. It does wonders to relieve stress and tension. And if you want to spill the beans on what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Megs. See you, Sybil. Take care now, Avery. I see you're a private person. I can respect that. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you encountered last night. I'd better get back to it myself. I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up. Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can be of any help. We both know that there is something horribly wrong about this place. How are you so calm? Don't mistake my calm demeanor for complacency. We all have our parts to play in this. I trust that you and Stella have what it takes to get to the bottom of things. I'm so sorry to cut our conversation short, but I've got things I need tending to. Stay safe, Megs, and God bless. You probably have a bit of time before you need it at the library. No, I'm gonna go to the library. I want some scones. I didn't need any PB&J for scones. You enter the former town hall. What once must have been a stately foyer has been converted into rows of shelves. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh hey, you made it! You head over to Stella and Kanika's table and settle in. You made it. Glad you could join us. Morning, Megs. You look tired. I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's so funny. I've never done a Scooby-Doo before. Haha, yeah, the estate isn't the easiest place to get a good 8 hours. I never realized houses could get so windy. I can only imagine. That place is already falling apart the last time I was there, and it's been years. I can't believe it hasn't been condemned. Not that there's anyone to do the condemning. Anyways, I guess we should get started. Before you dig in, you remember the boot print you found in the garden. Hey, before we dig in, I Found something in the garden this morning. Hold up your phone and show Kanika and Stella the photo you took in the garden. These prints were in the bushes with a clear line of sight to my window. Dang, that's creepy. Are you okay? What in the world is that liquid around it? It looks like pus. I can't say I'm thrilled at the thought of someone watching my room. No kidding. Maybe you'll feel safer if you don't stay in the estate. Do you think it could be that creep we saw outside the general store last night? You knew your name, and those boot prints match up with the mining get-up. Whoa, apparently I missed a lot last night, huh? You're not talking about Wayne, are you? The guy keeps coming to my mom's tea room. I think there's something really wrong with him. Yeah, we are. I wonder if there's any connection between that guy and what happened in the woods last night. Like what? I mean, I don't have anything specific, but we do have that whole prophecy of impending doom angle to explore. And this photo is weird. I can't stop thinking about the splatters on the ground. If whoever left those prints is sick, maybe it's from the creatures you encountered. Hey there, strangers! And literal stranger. Yeah, hi. I don't know who this guy is, but he's got a name tag, so I feel like I should introduce myself. Hey, I'm Meg, Tabitha's cousin. I'm in town for the funeral. Oh, I should have known you were a Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's, strong. I'm Oscar... I'm Oscar, chief librarian. And only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of the kids around here who grew up with it. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. We were all too kind. But speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I went up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? It's this great old abandoned spot. We used to hang out there when we were teens. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. The floors were like Swiss cheese. I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. Kids are smarter than you think. She can take care of herself. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? Kanika's right. There's some weird stuff going on out in the woods. That's actually why we came in today. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They're a type of cryptid that shows around places on the brink of disaster. They kind of look like the Pillsbury Doughboy of creepypasta. Kanika's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings. Doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay, if you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disaster this region typically falls prey to. Should I be worried about something? I don't know yet. I'll be right back. I'm gonna nab some more books. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen. Aw, you don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old gal. Button is it? Yeah, there we go. Doggy. Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit, drool leaking from her toothless mouth as she swallows it whole. Pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in these woods. See, I feel like, okay, so I'm conflicted about this one because I feel like this is important to say, but also this is his daughter. It sounds like, and he's trying not to be a helicopter parent. And if you're actively trying not to be a helicopter parent, I feel like that's not something you want to hear. It's nothing we can't get to the bottom of. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble. And we'll make sure to keep our eyes peeled. Thanks, Kanika. And Megs, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know that her dad is worried about her? Oh yeah, I'm sure a 13-year-old girl would love to hear from a complete stranger that her dad's worried about her. That sounds like something she would definitely take to heart. Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him. Just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. Stella sets a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. All right. This is going to be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our source documents. Let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. Okay, I get to decide what book I read. Is there an option to make my character dyslexic and not read? This is not what I wanted. That's not what I was referring to. Ooh, Appalachian folk monsters. A few entries catch your eye. Oh, this was the thing mentioned! There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods, all alone with his hunting dog. One night, after a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs empty, the hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. Some small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his actions. But it was quick, and ran back through its hidey hole, and out of sight, leaving only its long black tail, shot off by the hunter's rifle. Guess what'll have to do, he said to his dog, and threw the tail in the pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail filling them both up. The hunter crawled into bed, satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke up to the sound of long nails scrabbling across wood. His dog was nowhere in sight, only a rumped spot on the covers where he'd been, and in his gloom he saw two big, yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my Telepo," a high, hoarse voice croaked from the darkness. "Go away!" he screamed at the thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of long claws dragging across the hard wood accompanying its movements. "I want my Telepo," the creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you," the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear. But there was no dog to be seen. "I want my Telepo!" Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws stretching out towards the hunter. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning, all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney, standing alone in the woods. Interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to decide if this sound is one that we heard last night. I mean, not quite, but I'm gonna click it anyway. Often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought vengeance against a monstrous cat demon for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down by wearing a bobcat mask, tricking it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of her region from its evil. Others say the creatures come from the story of a woman who wore a pelt of a wildcat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat, forced to wander the wilderness alone, feared by all. Her calls were those of great sadness, and serve as a warning to anyone who dares go against tradition. I don't really want to read Tommyknockers. Cave-dwelling creatures. We weren't in a cave. That's irrelevant. He closed the book and put it back. Forced into retirement at the age of 50 due to a war injury from his time in the Indian Wars, exacerbated by his short stint serving as captain in the Confederacy, Silas Scarlet also lost his eldest two sons to that bloodiest of wars, leaving his third eldest son, Andrew Jackson Scarlet, to take charge of the mine. Under his leadership, the mine prospered, undoubtedly due in part to the growth of the railroad industry. It managed to evade the coal union for decades, making them one of the most profitable mines in the country. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town into what it is today, with expensive stone buildings, a bustling main street, and overseeing it all the elegant Scarlet estate that was, until 1895, the largest and finest feat of architecture in the region. Culminating in the tragic collapse of 1918, it was found that Charles Shaw, the co-manager of the mine, had loosened security measures to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse in the depths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. This is why you need a union. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Scarlet's son, Theodore, his brother and Nonchfee Scarlet, who had taken over for their aging father during the bustle of the war, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin, thereby saving the town. So this is how your family made its fortune. Gross. No wonder Mom left. Silas Everett Scarlet was born to Colonel Everett J. Scarlet in 1818, one of 12 siblings. He grew up in eastern North Carolina during the tumultuous time in the state's history, and not much is known about his life before he joined the Army in 1836. He quickly rose to the ranks in part due to his father's connections, but also due to a particular ruthlessness for which he received the nickname Bloody Silas Scarlet. Wow. The federal government granted the now Captain Silas a tract of bounty land in exchange for his service in the Indian War, and he settled into the hills of North Carolina in 1841. That land would become Scarlet Hollow. But it started as a simple log cabin, built by Silas's own two hands, occupying his family of 10. Silas, his wife, Mary Joseph Scarlet, and their 8 children. Logging business brought many workers and fellow landowners to the hills, but it wasn't until Silas discovered rich seams of coal running underneath the entire region that Scarlet Hollow was really put on the map. He saved what he could and bought the surrounding hillside at a great discount, cleverly hiding that he knew about the land's true value. Thus, he had all the resources to found Scarlet Hollow's now famous coal mine. You're finished with this one. I think I'm all done. Let's check in. Alright, if we're going with what Kanika's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as what brought the ditchlings here, but not nuclear incidents. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about y'all? Find anything? Look at the cat. I want the pet. Before you can respond, a handsome black cat leaps onto the table. Stella quickly slams her book shut. Aw, hey Pixel. Might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find. Haha, don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats. Pixel immediately goes to town on Stella's treats. Sorry if Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he isn't gobbling up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. That is just cats. Cats are like that. Why do you let a paper shredder freely wander the library? Have you ever seen this little guy's face? How could I say no to that? Yeah, I agree. Oh, I want a pet, Pixel. Cat curls up on the table, fast asleep. Alright, I better get back to shelving. Let me know if y'all need anything. That's random. Stella, what were you saying about nuclear incidences? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Haha, yeah, apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple of bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. The first of the 2 bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed the bomb was unarmed, but later came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which failed to trigger on its descent. 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Right, its conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. So the nuke made the ditchlings. Case closed. Looks like we've got it, folks. I don't think so. Goldsboro is almost 400 miles from here. Look, you never know with the radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you. It doesn't make monsters. And a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bond-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. So, Appalachian folk monsters. My mom used to tell me that Taily Post story back when I was little. I can't believe I forgot about that one. It scared me so bad I didn't eat soup for years. I thought a monster might try and dig it out of my stomach if I did. Haha, I love that one. There's this old chimney in the woods that I used to think was the chimney from Taily Poe. The one that was left after the thing did whatever it did. Now we know that's just because chimneys don't burn down, and wooden houses do. It doesn't mean it's not the chimney from Taily Poe. I've camped out there a couple of times and seen some pretty spooky stuff. Ah, yeah, I watched that video. You saw raccoons. You're gonna get rabies one of these days chasing after wildlife like that. What can I say? I like to live on the edge. Wampus cats kind of sound like they could be mountain lions. Voice like a woman crying out, somewhere between person-sized and cat-sized. Definitely, they're 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. But the myths are old, right? Mountain lions didn't go extinct in Appalachians that long ago. Those legends just haven't died off yet. Almost every cryptid can be tracked down to either a hoax or someone getting confused about a perfectly normal animal. Sometimes both. Bigfoot, for instance, started as a prank, then folks saw bears walking around on their hind legs and got freaked out, and now here we are. You'll eat those words when I get the first clear footage of a Bigfoot. If you manage that, I'll print out a piece of paper that says Bigfoot isn't real, and I'll literally eat it. I promise. I'm holding you to it. Let's move on. I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm gonna click it anyway. You lean in and quietly whisper to Stella and Kanika. Do you guys think there's like a cult here? Oh. Stella's face. I'm just like reading this and I look up and see her face like Kanika's like reaction seems really normal. Stella seems absolutely flabbergasted that I'd ever bring something like that up. Maybe the ditchlings were like summoned as a part of a ritual or something like that. I assume the spiral we found was some sort of nest made by the ditchlings, but yeah, maybe we had cause and effect backwards. I'm writing it down. It's much more likely that thing was a nest than it was some sort of magic ritual site. Do you think Wayne factors into any of this? I honestly wouldn't be shocked. There's something seriously wrong with him. Like, I can viscerally feel it in my guts. Maybe he's sick. Maybe that has something to do with what you saw in the woods. I don't know. I buy it. Yeah, like if it's some kind of weird parasitic disease. Yeah, and that might just be how it affects people because people have different biology. I don't know. I don't know if any of these were related. Neither of them felt related. They just felt like good information for me. So I'm gonna go with. Have you had any luck with Rosalina? Not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it'd happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check on her usual haunts. What do y'all think? Maybe we should go to the mines. There was that collapse a while back that had a lot of people died. Maybe the ditchlings are here to warn us about something like that happening again. Oh, fuck, you're right. The mine collapse would have been relevant. Okay. Okay, good. And hopefully we can find out what happened to Wayne while we're at it. I'm sure Tabitha's going to love that we're sniffing around. Same goes for all of us, honestly. I can't think of a single person in town Tabitha would be happy to see. We'll just have to make sure that we don't get caught. We'll be super sneaky. I can even keep lookout. Look at us, going out on a caper together. I miss this. I missed it too. I mean, sure, it's not under the best circumstances, but I've been so wrapped up in running the store, I didn't realize how much I missed being able to hang out with you. Though there is something missing. Reese. I really miss that dude. I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other. Have you seen him lately? Nope. I've tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could pop over and surprise him. He seemed excited to meet Megs. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Hell yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's roll out. See ya, Oscar. I'll let you know if you run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep you posted. And I think that's where I'm going to end it. We got a lot of information from the library. I don't know how much of it's useful, and I don't think I'm ready to start speculating about what the ditchlings could be, but I do think I'm gonna predict what the tragedy is going to be, and it's going to be that house on the edge of that fucking cliff falling into the cliff, because how could it not fall into the cliff eventually? So, I don't know what Wayne has to do with any of it, though. He does give me the creeps, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will continue this next time.